Hey guys, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Okay, Noel, so you're only here because of Josh. I guess I'll have to bring Josh on quickly. That's funny. All right. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us today. And it is 3 days until Christmas. I had to look at my clock because I don't really know. But, yeah. Third day of these Countdown to Christmas live streams. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you. Special shout out to folks in green text in the chat who are YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys being out there. So I've got to tell you about a... So apparently I should stop sending multiple emails every week because the link to the live stream in my email today was somehow got foobarred and took you to the New Year's Eve live stream from last year. So I don't, yeah. And then yesterday's link I had a bad URL for my giveaway, but here's my giveaway. Okay. So hamradio2.com/Christmas23 is the giveaway link. I shared it in there a minute ago. I'll pin it right now. And I will, be giving away 2 Yaesu radios on Christmas morning. They are B-stock radios. It's the FT891 full in the box and everything, and then the FTM 400 XDR, which is no longer in production. So, and those are courtesy of Main Trading Company. They're not courtesy of. I bought them from Main Trading Company, but they, for some reason, it won't let me pin that right now. So I'll see if I can pin that here in a bit. But we're going to give away 2 Yaesu radios on Christmas morning. I will probably turn this off sometime on Sunday. So if you don't sign up by Sunday, you're kind of out of luck. And that's where we're at on that. So I was going to let Josh talk about his giveaway. He's got a giveaway also, and let's get you unmuted. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Jason? Fun to be out here again. Normally, I'm out here for the happy hours. This is just gonna be you and I talking. I don't know. Will we split the time?
I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna talk about anything that we both are mutually interested in. So,
yeah.
But yeah, you've got your giveaway going, and I guess that's the night before mine. I think, or no,
it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Christmas being on Monday has confused the heck out of me because I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm like, Saturday is not, because I think Saturday's Christmas Eve, but it's not. Sunday's, and I'm just like, wait a minute, there's an extra day in there somewhere.
It's crazy.
I just haven't got used to it yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of not ready, as you know, most things go for Christmas. We're all there, but like, there's so much to do before then. I was mentioning to Jason before we will go live, we're gonna have like 40 people at my house for Christmas Eve, so that means like between. I gotta build my Christmas light antenna basically today. I have to assemble it tomorrow, do the live stream, do the giveaway, then go to sleep, wake up, get the house ready for everybody, have a big raucous affair, and then that's still Christmas is the next day. After that, it's crazy.
Right.
Absolutely crazy.
One of the reasons I decided to do these daily live streams is because I'm not live streaming on Sunday, which I normally do, because that's Christmas Eve. I'm not live streaming Christmas Eve. Come on. So, but go ahead and tell everybody about your giveaway that ends tomorrow, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I'll throw over my little shot here. So, hamtactical.com. That's the merch store. Perfect. There, good framing there. I like that. What you're doing there.
Yeah.
But go check out Ham Tactical. It's helps me run the channel, but it helps me do giveaways like this, similar to Jason when he does, right? So. So tomorrow I've been collecting the entries for this for months, actually just about 2 months now. We only 1 entry per person. You don't have to worry about multiples. But if you go to the link, I'll drop the link in the chat for everybody. It's a 300,000 subscriber giveaway. We're doing an ICOM IC705, a Yaesu FTDX10, a MobiLink TNC3, and I've got two PowerFilm solar panels to give away, which is just sweet. As you know, Jason, you're into solar. They're really, really good panels. Absolutely great for the portable stuff. These are the 60 watt and a 20 watt, which is perfect for QRP or your G90 type folks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna pick a winner for all those tomorrow. Yeah. There is a special word. We got a.
What's today's special word?
I haven't thought of what. So what should we make the special word?
Well, the last time I mentioned it on my stream, I think it was oh gosh, what was it? Because it had something to do with what I was talking about on my live stream that night.
Yeah. So what do we make the special word?
I
we
can't
can make
remember.
anything we want. Well, within reason.
Yeah. Within reason. Yeah. I don't. Pick something. I don't care.
Yeah, make it HR2, Hotel Romeo 2.
Okay, there you go.
All capitals. There you go.
Yeah. All caps.
Yeah. So thanks for that.
That's good. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. It's always good. Giveaways are always good. How many people do you have signed up right now? Do you know roughly?
I haven't even looked.
Have you not?
No, I haven't. I've been, when things work and they work, and you're like, well, that's just going to go sit over there, and it's going to do its thing, and I'm not going to touch
gosh.
it. I'll see if I can look it up right now.
I do know what that means.
You just do your thing over there. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
I think I've got about just over 1,400 signed up for the Yaesu giveaway for Christmas. So.
Very good. Yeah, my wife created this one, so I'm not sure that I have.
I haven't been going for 2 months, though. I've only had that up for a couple weeks, so you should have much more than that, I would think.
Yeah, I don't even know how many we have responses. 3,100.
3,100. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm on there at least once. So.
Well, it only lets you add it once. We've got a tool that does.
How does it segregate multiple signups by call sign, by name, or how does it do that?
Actually, it uses a bit of both. It's an aggregate. So there's a couple of values in there that are important. Like, obviously, if your email address isn't good, then I won't be able to contact you. So we use that. That's one.
Right.
And then things like call sign and whatever. Those are all things that you could have multiple emails, but, if you're using the same call sign and other things, the tool knows. So,
yeah. So are you requiring?
You don't hear my dog
sign?
in the background, right? She's absolutely going nuts. Do you hear my dog in the background?
I do. It's not very loud. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Of course, we go live and she starts losing it.
That's right. I always put Electra inside when I go to live streaming because if I start live streaming, she's just laying on the porch out there. Sure enough, sometime during this hour, she'll find a neighbor that she doesn't agree with, and it's just like,
right.
I'm like, jeez,
yep.
Shut up. So she's always inside when I'm live on here too. So, but yeah, it's not that loud, but I do hear it in the background. Oh well.
That's crazy too, because we got that like fireproof door and everything, and it's all sealed off, and you can still hear it. She's a loud dog.
Is it just do you have an actual wall behind you now? Because you built that new work.
The wall. Oh,
so the dog's
squares
inside
off the house. Yeah, she's not in here with me, so that's how loud she is right now.
Oh my goodness, that's good. So Sideboom wants to make your secret word just got down, and
that's too many words.
It's too many words.
Didn't we use?
KD9WXO wants to make it brain fart. So
brain fart isn't bad.
That's not bad.
No, just do HR2 since we already mentioned it.
We already did it. We already went that route. We're 30 seconds ahead of you guys in case you haven't figured it out yet. But
right, yeah.
So 40 people in your house. Is everyone just staying for the day, or are you having overnight guests, or how is that working?
It's an evening. No. It's an evening thing. So it's they do Christmas on Christmas Eve, and then they do individual Christmas morning with their families alone, right? So everybody comes together, big presents exchange type thing. Lots of food, so much food. And we've got outdoor kind of a fire pit area and seating in the backyard. So we should be good. It rained like 3 days straight here, which is pretty rare. So I'm hoping that it all dries out by tomorrow, actually Saturday, right? Sunday evening would be right? Yeah, I'm already screwed up.
Yeah, no, see, that's what I'm talking. I was like, you live stream probably in like 2 days, right? No, it's tomorrow. It's like, man, I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Friday.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we got we go to my folks. My wife's family. They live about an hour from here, so we usually go out there on Christmas Eve and spend the evening, and then we come home that night and stay at our own house that night because we have dogs here too. And then we go to see my folks on Christmas Day. We've been doing that last few years. That seems to work out okay. It would be fun to have that many people in the house at one time, but I don't know.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, like if it was one of those situations where there's a couple of family members that you don't see very often and there's a reason, None of these people are like that. Like these are all people I truly do love. So it's a joy to hang out with them. I have no problem with that. It's just the noise floor, if you will, is S9 solid for the entire party, right? So that's kind of the wild part about it.
Right. I imagine that will be some good food though if they're all they're all from China, you said, right? So
so by their family is from China, like the legacy, the history of. But generations or two ago, they moved to Vietnam, specifically the South, which we know how that turned out.
Yes.
They end up fleeing there. We talked about, Jason actually knows a bit of this story. They fled from Vietnam to an island, a remote island in Malaysia. They actually had to burn their ship so that the Malaysians wouldn't drag them back to Vietnam and let the Vietnamese put them into prison. They stayed on a deserted island, a whole bunch of them, for I think a year or two. And then they ended up getting kind of rescued and brought to the Philippines. And that is where my wife was born, Leia. They're all Chinese, but how many
Chinese heritage though.
Yes, Chinese heritage.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. You're saying deserted island, and I'm like, ooh, can we go back there and de-expedition that place?
Yeah, I seriously we should find out what the.
I mean, is that a thing? I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a thing. I don't know what DX entity that is, but I bet it's rare, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, and I bet you, God, there's something that could probably drag Leia and her entire family into. It's like, oh no, we're gonna go to that island that your parents, we're staying at. Don't mind the 8 watertight crates that I'm bringing with me.
Yeah,
pay no attention to that.
Oh boy, that would be awesome. That really would be a fun trip. I'm not joking. That really would be a fun trip.
It would be.
Oh my goodness. So. So did you fire up 10 meters? 10 meters has been hot for me.
I've got 20. I just got everything turned back on. Like I said, we had rain. There was actually lightning and thunder, which is pretty rare out here.
See, we had rain all day yesterday, but it was just showers. I haven't seen lightning in a couple of months or more, but so I've got mine up and going. But
my 10 is pretty good too, so we'll see how it goes. I'll pull that over right now.
I am on a vertical antenna that I will have a video coming out about in a couple of days. It might surprise you what it is. But it is working incredibly well.
If it has DX in the name, I won't be surprised.
It does not have
DX.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, come on, let's do it.
That would be a big surprise. No.
Okay, I don't think so. That's something you can knock out in a day or two.
Yeah. In fact, did you see my stream yesterday?
I did not. What was I doing?
You were at work, weren't you?
No. We had the podcast last night.
And
a couple of other things going on. Just getting ready, just cleaning. I got the same one. I don't know what is that? Is that a new one?
It's a new color. Yes, it's an expedition mast. He talked about this a little bit yesterday. Okay. So it's the same mast in a different color. Part of his classic series, which is the expedition, which is made to be a little bit more portable than the original classic. Yeah. And he's talking about continuing to do those. Continuing to do the classic series in one color and the signature series in another color.
I like that.
So yeah. I told him that was a good idea. But I guess he sent me that for doing the Black Friday sale thing for him. Mm-hmm. So that was welcomed and I said this on the stream yesterday. That's the first DX Commander antenna I've ever been sent for no charge, because everything else I've ever bought from him. So people who tease me, I'm like, okay, yeah, but I bought it. So if I don't build it, then that's on me, right? I don't owe Callum anything. Now I kind of feel like I owe him something, right?
Oh, I see that. Yeah, because you actually have bought a ton of them. I know you gave some away to actually people you know, right? That was part of a gift thing you did? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I that was a year or two ago at Field Day. Mm-hmm. It wasn't this year. It might have been last. It was either last year or year before at Field Day, and then I bought 3 of his newly designed. Before this met with the Black Mast, 3 of his newly designed expeditions when he was doing his Easter sale this past April. And I bought 2 of, and now this is gonna tie into our giveaway stuff. I bought 3 of those expedition because I didn't have an expedition for myself before that. I bought expeditions for my guys at Field Day, and I gave them all away. I had a classic, which he says I should send to ARRL because it's so old now that it should be a collector's item. so
kit,
this guy,
right? The whole
like
kit.
the kit, yeah, the whole kit, yeah. And because everything's changed everything on it. I think the poll is the same. I think everything else has changed.
The process, I think, his how-tos and all that.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
like
constantly
all of
improving
that.
on it.
Yeah, it's always improving. So that's not right. So I bought 3 of those from him, and I thought I'll keep 1 and I'll do 2 as a giveaway. And I did that giveaway somewhere like somewhere around Labor Day, I think it was. End of August, end of summer. I think I called it Summer 23 giveaway or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing, and Josh mentioned this a minute ago. He did not, or the 2 people who won, I was giving away 2 different DX Commander Expedition Incentives to 2 different people. Those 2 people never replied to my email.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I still got them. And I've emailed them at least twice, maybe 3 times. Because I email everybody at once. I put everybody in blind carbon copy. I say, hey, here's the list of who won. Hope you saw my stream last night. If not, here's the list of who won. Reply back to me. And you're on blind copy, so you can't see each other. And just give me your shipping address. And, 9 times out of 10 people reply. But every now and then you get people who just, they don't want to reply to emails. So I don't know if they're putting in fake emails in there or something. I don't know. Right. But yeah, it's one of those things where if you don't reply to the email after you win something, you need to, if you're going to sign up, you need to reply to the email. So I don't know.
I have had a couple of those happen, considering that we use the emails very specifically to contact you when you win. Everybody, please, make sure that you're using an email that you get stuff on. Like a lot of emails, you get something weird and it like goes to the spam folder, right? God, I don't know. Check your spam folder, I guess.
Yeah.
Reminder to everybody.
It could be. And someone came into the chat either yesterday's live stream or maybe the day before and said, well, I signed up and never got a confirmation email. Which you don't have to have a confirmation email to if you sign up, you're on the list, whether you confirm or not, on my system anyway.
Right.
And he said, I didn't get the confirmation email, but I got your email blast today. And I'm like, well, that means your confirmation email is probably in spam somewhere. So, yeah, it's an auto process thing. When you sign up, you get an automatic email sent to you, and then you're on the email list, and that's it. So I don't know how to correct that because some people have problems with it and some don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
but.
I need to take a second to get this dog out of the... I guess she's sitting at the door barking, and I don't know why. So I stall for time. I'll be right back. Sorry,
problem.
Guys.
No problem. Yeah, that's no worries. So, yeah. Let's see. If I win something from Jason, Frank can just drop it off on his house to way to work. Don says, yeah. That's good. That's good. So, okay. So, hey, guys, thanks for joining us today. We're just kind of hanging out, talking about stuff, doing whatever. What are you guys asking for Christmas, or what are you expecting to get? And in my original email when I talked about this, I was like, what are you asking for Christmas, or more accurately, what have you bought yourself for Christmas? Because let's face it, I mean, when you get to a certain age, you just go buy your own Christmas stuff and don't even worry about it. So I'm asking everybody what they bought themselves for Christmas, because when you get to a certain age, you just buy your own stuff. You don't worry about it. I gotta buy my kids stuff. I gotta buy my wife something. You know what? I'm gonna buy my own gift. Don't worry about it this year.
Yeah, and even then, I'm kind of like, I kind of get a lot of stuff throughout the year, honey. We don't really need to worry too much about all that. Let's just get you what you like and get the kids something. Funniest thing though, I walk out the door looking for the dog, expecting her to be right there. I had left the back door open to the backyard for her to just go out as she pleased. She's literally just sitting in the backyard. I'm like, how did you go from barking right here all the way out the door, and now she's chilling on the back like stoop area, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna close the door, and she's locked out there now. So what a nut.
That sounds like something Electra would do. All right, here's a Christmas wish list coming in.
Okay.
I got a new Bamboo Lab A1 printer. I don't know what that is. Is that a 3D printer?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have the cheap one. I think the A1 is a step up. Actually, it might be 2 steps up. Those printers are so good.
Is that the one you were talking about on a live stream about a month ago, and you were saying that, yeah, that looks good. And you were saying that they had to be connected to the internet, so they're sharing all your information with China?
That's the downside, right?
Okay,
so, it is the best, fastest, most consistent printer I've ever owned. What is the downside? It's an online device. You have to plug it into the Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and then it will. You can send a print to it from wherever. I can do it from a laptop remote, and you can monitor it remotely. There's a camera even on it. The problem is who knows what China's doing with that information. So if you're a type of person who may want to make a pew out of a 3D printer, that may not be the one you want.
That may not be.
Yeah,
that's what Philip's saying. What do you want for Christmas, Philip? Pew is what he wants. David wants more ammo.
Oh, there's always never enough ammo.
Never. Yeah, Machine Oblivion bought himself a 710.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go, right there. KQ4 LDC. Josh is the only reason I got my technician license.
That's very nice of you.
It's nice to hear that, guys. It's very nice to hear that. Every time any of us hear that, it's great.
Yeah.
Greg wants a DX Commander antenna.
I think that's a not too expensive gift. You can easily justify it if you're living under a budget. I again commend Callum for making one a antenna that kind of pushes people to do something that's outside their comfort zone. It's a good antenna because it's priced, I think, really well, and it's truly effective. It's very effective.
It is very effective. Yeah, they are excellent antennas. Yeah. Let's see. He got Freddie Mac got a POTA poll. He said, "Okay, I'm just kind of reading some comments here, guys. Yeah, I got myself an ICOM IC705 VE7QH. Well, congrats. Those are definitely cool. So, have you seen, Josh? Have you seen that kit? I think ICOM sells it for converting your 705 from micro to USB-C.
Oh yeah, I did a video on it. It's not actually ICOM. It's a guy. It's a guy. In fact, I'll see if I can find the link for it.
Yeah, I had the link, and I thought it was linked from the ICOM website to some other website. I could be wrong about that. I could be thinking about something else. But
so this solves a problem that you and I both experienced. You have a keying interface for an amplifier, much like I do for the 705, right?
Yes.
This board replaces that. Not needed. So if it was $80 to make my 705 USB-C. That's cool. That's like a my type of cool. Like let's throw money around on some ham radio thing. But this is actually like a usable piece of kit that fixes a shortcoming that was with the 705. Is that it kind of had a light keying interface. Let me find the chat so I can drop it. But it's a really cool piece of kit to be able to do. It's from shop.ihelpyou.tech, and they've got it. If you want to pull that up, you might.
Yeah, I've got. Or no, wrong one. So shoot, I've got too many scenes over here. Here we go.
I know, right?
Yeah. So my question, somebody brought this up in a live stream chat that I had, like, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And my question, and nobody could answer this at the time, does it change the 705 to USB-C only, or does it actually add the capability of fast charging that USB-C has over micro USB? Or is it just a different plug that's more universal these days?
Great question. So it doesn't add fast charge to the battery like you'd expect for power delivery.
Right.
With that said, the charging control, whatever on the board or within the radio, doesn't allow you to like overcharge if you did give it a PD battery bank or something along those lines. So you're still stuck to whatever the standard charge rate is. So really you're just picking up the better cabling that exists with USB-C, because we know USB micro cables are trash. If you got a 705, you probably spent 2 hours going through your box of 1,200 USB micros and trying to find the right one that actually had shielding, that could handle the RF, all that stuff. USB-C is much better shield cabling to begin with. So from a serial standpoint, passing data, it's much better.
When I did that video with Hayden a couple years ago about that very problem, about keying, doing FT8 with, I think we were at 10 watts. I think we were on external battery power, and it would just the USB connection from the computer every time you keyed up. So I just took and I know people don't like micro. I like the micro cable. Yeah, the whole plug it in one way and turn it around, that's a pain in the butt, of course. But I never had any I bought some expensive micro cables off of Amazon like 2 or 3 years ago. I've never had any problems with them. But I did have to wrap that cable in a big Toroid. 240 mix, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And that solved the problem. That solved the problem. So if switching to USB-C eliminates the need to carry around that big bulky cable now, then that might be worth it.
There's I think it might be Mix 31 or 33, I think is the just general one you can throw on just about anything, and it's good for you. The thing that I actually tell people to do first, the USB cable's fine, it helps, but is if you choke right at the feed point of the radio, that prevents some of that RF on the shielding come back around the radio and onto the USB cable. That actually does the most, because that's still a thing that people who have 705 got to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, good info. So,
yeah,
I mean, that was my, obviously, we're seeing more and more stuff come up that's USB-C now. So if this eliminates the necessity of carrying a micro cable just for the 705, then that might be worth it to some people. Just to say, I've got a bunch of USB-C cables and that's all I carry anymore. Right. And now I can just plug in my 705 with everything else. But at the same time, I was wondering if it had that fast charging. You answered that, so that's good. That's good info to have.
Yeah, I don't know that it's any faster than the micro. Let me put it that way. Yeah. Just by going to the different board, it's really just a interface swap, from what I understand. And really, the keying interface is the thing that did it for me, because I've got that little Mini 50. Where is that thing? Right here. The little Mini 50 amplifier. This little guy.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like $100 to get this up to 50, and it's great because you can leave it in passive mode, and you can turn it on when you need it, leave it off when you don't. It's like, I wouldn't necessarily go hiking with it, but for a POTA, this is probably all you need, So that's better than the, I like the XPA 125, but at like $500 or more now, I think, up to. It's like, this is like $120 off of eBay.
The 125 is the one I will generally grab. Now, to be fair, I've had that for 4 years, something like that. Yeah. And MFJ gave that to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Long time ago. They gave it to me a long time. I think it was when the G90
around that time, yeah.
I was around when the G90 was new, I think, is when they gave me that radio. And they had they started carrying the Xiegu stuff when the X5105 came out, I believe is when it was. And then sometime shortly after that is when that amplifier came out. So that amplifier matches nicely to any of the Xiegu radios. It's very, very cool. And there's a guy on eBay that sells kits to interface it to damn near anything. Like, he sells a kit for the KX2 and 3. For the new FX4CR, he has a kit for that. And sometimes it's just a cable, and sometimes you can buy a cable, or you can buy like that safety, the buffering system, whatever it is. And but it's a great amplifier if you are going to use it on multiple radios. But I have to always tell people, I was like, but if all you're going to do is connect it to your 6100 or your G90, just go get a 7300, because by the time you buy all of that stuff, you just be better off with the 7300, or now an FT710 even, right? That's on sale right now. So
it's again, we're in this market space where there's so many good options, and you really do have to sit down and go, all right, what am I actually going to use, right? If you're going to spend 90% of the time in the shack and only 10% of the time doing a POTA, get a base station 100-watt radio. You can get a 7300 used for cheap. All the Yaesu ones that came out this year are fantastic. Yes. And they all work great for POTA, right? And it's just, it's so easy, but to pick a cool radio, but good news, you're going to get a great radio no matter what you pick.
Right.
The problem is, it's like you're almost inundated with all the options now. There's so many options.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. That's why when I make those best of videos, people are always coming by saying, "Oh, this answered the exact question I was looking at. Thank you." And I'm like, they're best of according to me, which I'm not going to steer you wrong, but that doesn't mean I don't cover everything. That doesn't mean there's no other options available. It just means, hey, these are all gonna work really well for you. So,
well, I make the best of videos as well, and I still watch your guys's that do them too, because I'm not watching them. I know what my opinions are. Right. I'm looking for something new and interesting the way you guys use it that, hey, I might not have thought of. Right. Like, I get comments like, well, you did that handheld video, but you didn't review any DMR radios. Well, I didn't review any DMR radios in 2023. I don't use it that much, right? So you're coming to me for a different point of view. You go to Jason for a different point of view, right? We all have our own opinions. It's whether you like kind of what we're throwing down or not, or listen to all of them and be like, oh, I get what he's doing, or I'm not really into that. No big deal. That kind of stuff. Yeah,
I got kind of dang, it's Rob. Okay. Is the HRCC giveaway already closed? No, we've shared that a couple times. You can share that again, Josh, if you want to, but it's not closed yet.
Sure. Now, you may laugh. I don't know. It just started hammering rain. So now I have to let the dog back in.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's right. That's all right. It's every time you go live, there's always something. My battery died in the 7300. Is it not okay to change it, or will it leak in time? I would. You know what? That's a good question. Yeah, it might leak. I mean, a new battery can leak if you got a cheap battery in there. Is it okay not to? So you don't want to change it. You don't want to change it. In other words, I mean, I think it would get annoying because it's going to hold all your memories and whatnot, or whatever that internal battery does. So I would change it. I don't think it would probably hurt anything if you don't change it, but you always risk a battery leaking. Even a brand new battery can leak if you get something that's cheap, which I think that the batteries in the 7300s are fine. But yeah, I would change it if I were you, but that's your call.
God, sorry about that.
That's all right. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is good. Timothy, my Christmas present was passing the general test and purchasing a DX10. Great. Congratulations. Yeah, congrats on your new license and your new radio, but your new license. Yeah, Ryan and Ken say, wait, it rains in Cali?
It's today. This is our allotted amount of rain. We're having it all in one shot. It was 3 days straight.
Right. That's funny. Let's see. Well, Mike says his 7300 battery died.
Like an internal battery?
I get coin
battery?
Yeah, like the little watch battery that's in there. So somebody asked in the chat when you were gone, is it okay to not change it, or will it leak over time? And I'm like, well, any battery can leak in it any time, especially if you use the cheap stuff. But I mean, I would change it, but because I think I would just get annoyed about how it doesn't hold the memories correctly anymore.
Yeah, and it's actually very easy to open that radio.
I haven't opened mine.
Yeah, that radio is really, it's, if you've ever seen videos of it, it's just like a open cavern in there, and it's everything's kind of right where you can see it, easy to get to. That's a very easy radio to work on.
Yeah, good. Well, there you go. There's two different opinions. So, I mean, I would change it. I mean, I don't know if you're scared to change it, or if you just don't want to fool with it. I don't know, but my opinion is to change it.
Sometimes I always think of, like, I have a problem, and the part is a 75-cent part.
Mm-hmm.
But if the part fails, it's multiple $100s.
Right.
So I'm going to go with change it.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Hey, Michael, thank you for the super chat. Not to change topics, just curious, has anyone got their Christmas baking started? Hopefully everyone has a treat on Christmas. I want to make, and I've been wanting to do this for years, I want to make, I bet I can do better than that. I want to make eggnog this year.
Ooh.
And I've never made eggnog before.
Like a proper recipe of eggnog. Not just get a bottle and add bourbon to it.
No, like adding the eggs and the sugar and whatever else is in there, and just doing it correctly, and adding good. And I've always heard you should add rum, not bourbon, but I guess you can do anything you want to, I suppose. But getting some quality, not bottom shelf liquor to put in there, and just making some and just putting it on the stove and letting it simmer on the stove and drinking it warm. I really want to do that this year. I don't know if I'll get a chance to do it or not, but I would like to. We'll see.
So it's not rum or it's not cognac. It's VSOP brandy. Actually, brandy, I believe, is
brandy
supposed to put in eggnog.
Okay.
I've had it always, I'll tell you. I did this once years ago, like over 10 years ago, before I had kids. I made proper eggnog. It's actually pretty interesting, the process to make it. There's a bunch of recipes online. I highly recommend it. Yeah, and you kind of will dazzle your guests if you have them with.
Yeah,
I made this eggnog.
I made this.
Yeah, wow.
I made this eggnog. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, so the 73 Dawn says N5SKT says the 7300 battery is soldered onto the board. Just looked it up.
No way. Really?
That's bad.
Oh well. Here's when. Now I was wrong, so I take that back.
Yeah.
Call ICOM and ask them what they recommend you do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, I don't think they're just in the market to get your repair money out of the way. They might tell you, hey, look, this is actually something that in 10 years it might die out on you proper and lose its guts all over your board. You may need to go fix it, right? At least they'll let you know, right? I would do that.
I agreed. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely reach out to them and see what they have to say about it. But I remember back in the day, those Radio Shack HTX 202 batteries that often failed because those radios lasted forever, which were made by Icon, by the way. Those had solder in batteries, and they sold, Radio Shack sold a little adapter kit where you could take the old battery off the board and then put the adapter kit on that had a battery slide in and out, and you could upgrade it like that. So maybe ICOM has something. I mean, the 7300's been out for like 10 years. Maybe ICOM has something like that.
I mean, even a solder-on battery is not hard to replace.
It depends on where you got to put the soldering iron, I think. I mean, if you got to take the whole thing out and turn the board over, I don't know. I mean, I haven't opened up that radio, so I'm not sure. But
I may have to see if I can find a picture of it real fast. By the way, 10 is looking good. I'm making contacts all over the place. My grid tracker's blowing up.
Good. Okay.
I'm DX with it now, right? I'm getting all the way into Africa.
I was getting. I haven't seen much DX today, but when I was doing it yesterday, I got Scotland, England, Wales, France, a bunch of Europe. South America is usually fairly easy to get, especially on 10 meters. But
yeah, you can see. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Real good actually for 10 meters.
So there's Paraguay just came up on me. So yeah, good. Yeah, so get on 10 meters, do some FT8, guys. If you enjoy that sort of thing, I do. I think it's.
I mean, while you're doing a live stream, and there's nothing better.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm gonna key up and call CQ. I want to know if you guys can hear this buzzing in the speakers or not. I'm gonna turn.
Oh, this is for FT8. I think he was saying he gets a bit of feedback.
Yeah, I get a buzzing in my computer speakers, which is RF coming back in the line, but it only happens on 10 meters. I don't get it on 20 or 15 or 40 meters or anything like that. So I want to know if it's going to play over my my stream or not. I'm just going to call CQ.
My Cam Radio Tube, he was saying he just watched a video on the battery and that the recommendation is to have a hot air station to unsolder the battery. That's often the cleanest way of doing it, is to just use a hot reflow station. And they're coming down in price, those hot air stations. A lot of people are a little apprehensive of the surface mount stuff, but I did a video on that with a simple kit. It's actually pretty easy. It's a lot of fun. I like the surface mount.
That's a good idea. I've got a heat gun, but I think a hot air gun's different than the heat gun I've got.
It's like if a hot air gun, like a Harbor Freight plug-in jobber, like I love that thing, but that's the equivalent of a soldering iron that just plugs into the wall. You've got no control. It's just hot. A hot air reflow station has an adjustable thermostat and a blower control, like how much air it's pushing, which is actually really important, particularly with small SMDs, because you could just blow them right off the board with the thing. Yeah. It also usually has changeable nozzles. So if you're working on a real small part, you want a real nice tight nozzle, dial back the air, crank up the heat a little bit to get it flowing just right. But with that battery, you could probably use a much fatter nozzle and give it some hot air real fast to get it lifted out and out of there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's something to add to the kit later.
Yeah, Xtronic. Xtronic makes really cheap ones, and they're made in the USA. There's something for you, Jason. You can check those out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. Okay.
I think so. I should probably check that.
I should double check that, but yeah.
Send a Jason off and go make a video. Made in the USA, guys. Check it out.
No, I mean I would vet that, of course.
Of course.
Oh, that was Ham Radio Wilderness with Frank. I just worked. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Okay. So here's a question. Okay. So I've got this FT8. This is the computer behind me is what you're seeing on the left-hand side of your screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is the only thing this is the oldest computer in my arsenal. The only thing I use it for basically is to run Smart SDR Flex Radio. So I've got WSJTX and the peripherals and everything installed. I did when I did that single sideband DX contest about a month ago, whenever it was. I did use N1MM on it as well. But that's basically all this computer does.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever reason, it stopped a while back, not too long ago. It stopped answering. When I call CQ on WSJTX, if someone answers me, it will not respond to them. I have to double-click on them to get them to respond.
And you have auto sequence selected. I can see that.
Yep. I haven't changed anything. So there's something in the software that is malfunctioned. So what I should do, okay, so shameless Windows plug right here. What I should do is back up my log files and wipe and reinstall Windows, because Windows just gets real gunked up after a while. Because like I said, this is the oldest computer I've got. But
right.
And that would fix it. But I wonder, has anyone ever seen WSJTX just do that for no reason?
I did have that happen, and I believe it was uninstalling and reinstalling WSJTX that solved it.
Okay.
But there was also a version update in there in the middle somewhere, so I think that was also helping.
I checked my when I first noticed this a month or so, maybe a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I checked, and I was a couple of versions behind, so I updated to the latest version at the time, and that didn't seem to solve anything on my case. So
interesting.
Yeah. So an uninstall and reinstall would probably do it. And you can export all your configurations as well. I don't know if it's a configuration thing. So I would want to try it with a fresh configuration, and then try to import, and then assuming it worked, try to import my backup configurations and see if that foobarred something. So
I mean, it's like a lot of things. It might be a configuration issue that sometimes happens, but we'd have to deep dive that whole thing. To look at it. Yeah. But I'm guessing that everything you're saying, considering the age, you probably should just do the old wipey.
Mike is saying change CQ drop down to first. CQ drop down to first. That is.
Oh, you have it none. That's it. Actually, that's it. So the drop down next to auto sequence, right there, the little bar. Your mouse is just right above it. You're right above it. First.
I've literally never changed that setting. Like on any of my, I have WSJTX installed on like 4 computers. I've never done that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, actually. I was so focused on the auto sequence.
Huh. Yep. Well, I wonder what...
now you don't have to dump your Windows.
So
Good news.
I need to do it anyway. I wonder if... Because I've never changed that on... I didn't change my laptop or my tough pad or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if I just clicked on that by mistake at some point in time, and it...
Probably.
And I might have just clicked it by mistake. Because so does it come up as CQ first when you uninstall? Is that a default setting?
I thought it was.
Okay.
At least,
I probably clicked on something I shouldn't have. Then is probably what I did. Okay.
Yeah, because now it's going to just reply to the first person that it hears.
Right. Yeah. That's and that's what it should do. And it used to do that. So yeah, it's probably a mistake I made. Here we go. There it is.
The DX chasers, you can actually make it max distance if you want to do that. That's the other option. Which maybe you want to do that, right? If you're just chasing long contacts.
Right. Yeah, it's working now. It's going back to the station just came back to KI5. Can't see what that says down there. It's too small on the screen.
There you go.
Mark. Merry Christmas and thanks for keeping us entertained. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Thank you for the troubleshooting, the free troubleshooting in the chat, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my goodness, that's good. Somebody said something a minute ago. Can someone do a video on the not commonly known bands like 23 centimeter, 33 centimeter, 630 meter, 2200 meter? So a video about what? So I have a presentation about 630 meters that I recorded at a Hamfest 3 or 4 years ago when that band was brand new, and that's on my channel. You have to dig for it. It's on my channel. And I've done some 900 megahertz videos on different 900 megahertz radios, and we got a couple of repeaters in town that I've used. But tell us what you're wanting to know about those bands, and we can kind of talk about your question there.
23 SEMs and 33 SEMs is big in the super high frequency stuff. We talked about that with the 905 that came out this year.
Yeah.
A lot of fast scan TV, ham radio television is on those bands. That's good. We've got a big community of that down here in Southern California.
That's good. Do you have a lot? Well, did you get I know you had that 905 from ICOM, but you gave it back to There's a funny story about the one they had at Hamvention with the scratches on it. Or the antenna.
What? How'd those get there? I don't know how those got there.
Did you ever get one of those on your for your yourself though?
Not yet, and it's kind of tough because I like the technology. I think you can watch the videos on it. It's super cool technology, and if there was a person that would enjoy having one of those, it's someone living here in Southern California. We have a vibrant, super high frequency community. Like insofar as that they have like weekend on the summit meetups. Right? They're not super high. You only got to be like so high. You can't actually go too high, or else it won't be as effective. But Gordon West is out here. He's active in that community. He does ham radio television from his house. There's a number of repeaters that we actually have that are all connected. There's a YouTube channel. It's called the Ham Radio Network that is all here, and they're all running these ham radio television stations. So I've got the right community. The problem I have is that it really becomes the time of like, how much more do I got? Like that's a whole nother thing, like to be able to get that up and running and to get proficient at it. It would be kind of cool to do a POTA with that, but I feel like that's a real hard challenge from my point of view.
Yeah. So Gigaparts had offered to send me one of those radios a while back, and I'm like, you know what? That's great. And
take a look at it. It's super cool.
I'll probably take them up on that at some point, but I told them not to send it yet. I said, here's the problem. It's great to like go through and look at the menus, but if you can't do any QSOs with it, then it's almost like, it's like, oh yeah, hey, big deal. What else you got? That kind of thing. So, and I don't know anybody who has one. I don't know anybody who has one. If Frank had one, I would just go over to his house and we each set up in a corner of his backyard and do a 5 gigahertz QSO, because why not? We're right there. He's got a pretty good sized backyard, but I was like, this is just what it sounds like. Yeah.
Is there any clubs in your area that do it?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we have a lot of really good clubs in North Texas, but that the SHF stuff, we used to have some analog amateur television repeaters in this area, and I looked those up a while.
Nice.
Right about the time the 905 was announced, I started looking those up. I can't find any of those are online anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, and a lot of the. Sorry, I wasn't trying to. A lot of the ham radio TV guys have switched over to digital now. There are a lot doing digital.
That's
TV,
true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know. That would be neat to see that. And honestly, I don't care. I shouldn't say I don't care. I care less about the SHF stuff, like the 2.4 and the 5 and the 10 gigahertz on the 905. I really thought that the SSTV, or no, not SSTV, the amateur television was cool because it'll show you on the screen. It brings up a little image on the screen of the 905, and you can have a QSO with someone over television, over video. And I'm like, oh, that would be freaking cool, especially if you have a really good repeater in your area. But turns out I don't, so I never did anything with it.
And it'll show you two-way. So you're both receiving and you're transmitting. So you got both sides of the action. So if you're running like a two-way call with somebody. And it's got the composite in. And I tested that you can actually feed it composite. So you could hypothetically do the live stream from the 905.
Oh, my God.
Because as long as you have composite out, you can do it. And you'd feed it in, and you'd be able to run with that. It's pretty wild. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You do a live stream in like 640 by 480.
Yeah. Unless you have a 10 gig, maybe faster. I don't know the data bandwidth off the top of my head, but it was it was not bad. It was pretty slick.
Yeah. It looked like it was If SHF, Grayman Poda, SHF, super high frequency. I'm trying not to say SHTF because I've been saying that term
I know, right? 'Tis the season.
Yeah. SHF, super high frequency is what we're talking about here. Don N5SKT, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for bringing on the last two jokers. I know how tough Josh and Cal are to interview. Merry Christmas to you both. So thanks for being here, Don.
I know, we're a nightmare to talk to. That Cal's another one that you could get started and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna switch the scene to you, Cal. You just go for it.
Yeah, totally. yeah. So, yeah, but he's actually, I reach out to him about once every 3 or 4 months, and he's like, yeah, sure, just tell me when. And
he's great.
He's usually pretty good about making time to come on, especially since he's finished work by the time we go live at noon, because it's like 6 p.m. for him. Yeah, that's right. He was drinking gin and tonic yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and it looked like water and ice water. And I'm like, dude, you could have told people that was ice water. He's like, yeah, it was gin. It was clear liquid. I'm like,
I love it.
Drinking water today? Oh no, this is gin and tonic.
I love talking with Cal because he's one of the many people like Adam and Ward Silver where they're so good at explaining complex things that you want to know about, the heady topics, or like Tamitha Skov, right? And can bring it down to the everyman level. They're fantastic at that. I absolutely love talking to those folks.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I just racked up a contact with one K8MRD. I think he gave me plus 22. Is that right? Jeez, was that K8MRD?
Plus 22? Wow.
Am I blind? Or is that somebody else? I got a plus 20. Man, yeah, 10 meters is real good right now. Really good.
Yeah, 10 meters is rocking right now. I started calling CQ, and I'm getting all these U.S. stations come back to me, which is okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to resize my window here, guys, so pardon me for a second.
It might be a different call. I might have missed it.
And put that down there. Let's see.
Pretty good, though. Yeah, 10 meters is good.
On-stream editing here, guys. So there we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I can see. I had my window way too small. So there's Paraguay right now. He keeps calling CQ. Zulu Papa 9 Mike Charlie X-Ray. So that's how I'm going to try him now. Somebody asked in the chat a minute ago, what's the most unique call sign you've ever seen on FT8? And I think, you know what? I think for me it was China. I've seen some Bravo Golf stations on there a couple of times. I've seen Republic of Korea, which makes you wonder, but that is South Korea, because like North Korea's, all the DXCC guys want to get North Korea because nobody has North Korea in the log. But yeah, South Korea, China, and I have not personally seen Antarctica, like McMurdo Station or somebody like that. It would be really fun to see those guys, but I'm sure somebody has, but I've not seen that.
Years ago, I saw them, but couldn't make a contact. I see all the Pacific, stations pretty well, so I've seen the China and down into like Singapore, Malaysia, that kind of stuff. Those are the rare ones. And then oddly enough, India is kind of far enough away where you don't see it pop up very often. And when you do, you're like, oh, hey, okay, the path is open. And you got a small window to try and go with it. That's probably the most rare, I would say. Unique, I don't know about unique, but rare.
Right, yeah, rare. But India, what's their prefix? I forget.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Yeah. So,
James has got Antarctica. Good for you, James.
Nice, very cool. Let's see. How much power do you typically run? Maurice is asking. I run full out. I run 100 watts. Now,
me too.
My Flex radio, which you can see right there, the screen at the bottom right corner of my big window right there is the Flex Radio Smart SDR software. That's what that looks like right there. It has got, I installed an internal ATU when I first bought that radio. So you can see right now it's pushing about 85 to 90 watts. So I usually stay between 80 and I've got it full power, but with the tuner, in there. And the antenna I'm running right now, the vertical antenna I'm running right now, it's not perfectly resonant at the bottom of 10 meters, but you know, it tuned it very fast. It was like 2 to 1. It was like 2.1 to 1 or something like that. So I just hit the tuner and it tuned it really fast, and it was pushing between 85 and 90 watts. So that's plenty for FT8. I don't have any problems. I worked, like I said, I worked a bunch of European stations yesterday with a vertical antenna on 10 meters, and it worked well.
I'm almost always 100 watts unless I'm doing QRP, particularly when I'm at home.
Yeah.
I figure, you know, let's get as much DX context as we can, particularly when there's an opening like that. Yeah, I'll definitely leave it at that and move the antenna around to try and maximize where we're pointing and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, speaking of antenna, gosh, the name just slipped my mind. But the guys who make your antenna, SteppIR. I'm sorry. They had a Black Friday sale. They said this is our first sale ever.
Yes.
And they did a Black Friday sale this year. I was like, wow, SteppIR is doing a sale. That's pretty cool.
You've got the property that you could put like a big IR in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's the vertical, the adjustable vertical.
Yeah.
You'd probably do pretty well with that.
Yeah. Yep. I've thought about that. So the elusive trailer that Bob has, our finder Bob.
Oh yes. Oh right, I heard a little bit about this. Yeah.
So I don't know how. I don't know where he got it. He picked up a trailer at an estate sale. What are you laughing at? Somebody
the story.
Something?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know how he got it. Bob's got it.
He got it
in New York. We got it.
Yeah, so he's got a tower trailer, and it had bad bearings on it, so they somehow got it home, and I think his son put new bearings on it. His son's a mechanic. He put new bearings on it. And
nice.
But it's got a crank-up tower. I think he told me it was like 80 feet total after it's cranked up.
Yeah.
It's like a serious freaking tower. And it has a SteppIR on, that came
cool.
with it. It's not there, but it came with it.
Yeah.
And this guy in Paraguay is not hearing me.
You guys were talking about this on your R Finder, the updated phone stream,
yes.
I think. Yeah. I watched that, and I was like, I was hearing the story, and I'm like, Jason's gonna get in the truck and drive.
Yeah. So the only reason I'm going to be honest with you, the only reason I haven't gone to get it yet, well, there's two reasons. Number one, Bob's living in Cozumel now.
Right.
So I'd have to figure out a time to go up there and get it where he's got it. But my wife's like, "Where are you going to put that thing?" I was like, "I'm going to put it at the dealer." She goes, "You don't need that. Don't go up there and drive it." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I've got to drive it. I've got to go up there and get it," because I'm like, dude. It's a free crank-up tower. Bob's not going to use it. He's in Cozumel. He's not taking it down there. So he's like, we can keep it at the hunting lease. And I'm like, yes, we can. We can keep it at the hunting lease. So but he said the SteppIR needs rebuilding. So
sure.
I think that might be a fun video or series of videos to rebuild one of those things.
Well, if they get old enough, like they upgrade the technology. The boxes, they've got an acronym. I can't remember the acronym of the box, but the box is basically it's 2 tape measures, that extrude and go back in.
Yeah.
And those do have to be replaced if they go bad, or parts of them have to be replaced. Whatever. It's relatively easy because you just suck the elements back into it, unbolt it, and the one unit comes off. You put the new unit on. It's the same wiring or maybe slightly different wiring harness. Plug it in. Boom. That's it. It's actually, like, for it being a complex antenna with lots of moving parts, it's been really solid for me, and they're really good with their support. And I got to tell you, it's a great antenna. It's really effective.
Yeah, well, I can imagine one of those on a. I don't know if the tower's totally 80 feet or not, but even if it's like 50 or 60 foot tower, with that beefy Yaesu rotor, whatever the number on it is, and that SteppIR, I'm just like, dude. And I want to take it down to the beach. I want to take it down and set it on the Gulf of Mexico, just point it to Europe and say, okay, guys, let's go.
I mean, if you got no noise and you got something like that on a beach, you'd kill it.
Oh, yeah.
It
would totally kill it. So, yeah, absolutely kill it. Who's texting? Somebody's sending me an off-air message and grid tracker.
So
I see you in there, Don.
I've been experimenting with an antenna. I put in a loop on the ground. Have you played around with those at all?
We talked about, Callum and I talked about that yesterday. No, I have not.
Yeah, and so that's actually a nice little little antenna to go along with a DX Commander actually is this loop on the ground as a receiving antenna. It's actually pretty good. It's not as good on the higher bands. I'm noticing that now. I'm playing around with this kind of in the background as we do. But on the higher bands and stuff, it's really effective, and it really cuts down the noise. I think that's, in fact, if you go to my screen right now, I can show you my 7610.
Yep.
So on 10 meters, so 10 meters is the top band on the SteppIR, and the log is on the bottom. So there is some signal difference for sure. But if we switch this around and go to something like 40 meters or 20 meters where I have more noise, the signal to noise ratio, the gap closes. So it's been really cool playing around with this. This is a nice antenna because it's actually really easy to install. It's literally wire on the ground.
Right. It's just wire on the ground.
If you're going through the process of putting in a radial system anyway for like a DX Commander, you might as well throw one of these on the ground as well while you're doing it.
And how much wire did you use?
I went with 60 feet of wire. You can go more, but 60 feet is usually the recommendation on the short length, and that's not very big.
So is that
a loop? That's like a small front yard.
Yeah, 15-foot square. 15 foot per side times 4 sides.
It doesn't have to be perfectly square. You try to make it as square-ish as you can, or a big loop. You could do that too. Literally, it's not that persnickety about how you set it up. Just that you get it kind of in free lawn space or free dirt space, if you will.
Okay. Because that's what Callum was talking about yesterday, was a 15-foot square, 60-foot total of wire. And he said that he's got a lot bigger yard than I do. But he said he set his up in like a square, and I'm like, okay, that's good. But
you've been to my house, you've seen I have a tiny front yard, and it's in my front yard, and you don't know it's there because I'm using using brown stealthy wire, and I use lawn staples to hide the wires. Yeah. The lawn will eventually overtake it, and we'll be good.
That's good. Huh? Okay. Yeah. That's something. That's something I would like to play with, because I think that would be good. I do have some noise here. I was telling Callum yesterday, one of the reasons I don't want to put down an antenna, because he's working on a couple of standalone antennas that are not going to require guys, and I'm like, okay, so are you working on anything?
Heard about this? Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's got one now. One of them is out now, and then I think it's the 9 meter pole. I think is the one he was talking about yesterday. But then I said, do you have anything that's not going to require radials? And he was kind of elusive about it. He's like, well, we're working on something. I was like, okay, that's fine. But
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So because I think my dogs would trample the radials, and he makes it. He goes. You see my dog? Yeah, Dawn, we're too close, buddy. Sorry about that. I had negative 21 on you, Dawn. It I would have thought it would have been better than that, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he said his dog out there on his, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've got 3 dogs, and I've got a lot smaller spot than you do, so I think it would. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I would be leery about leaving something like that in the backyard. So
that's actually why I put it in the front yard, because there's very little bit of foot traffic where I put it. It's next to the path that the people walk on generally.
Yeah.
And once the grass overtakes it, come springtime, it's going to be fine. Won't be a problem.
No, I guess I could do something like that. But you've got a fenced-in front yard, don't you?
I mean, it's
like
a
little half fence or something.
Novelty, jokey plastic thing. It's not for like keeping a dog in.
No, yeah. We just have open yards here, but yeah, that's okay. Okay. It's good to hear that you're using it, because that's what we were talking about yesterday, and I'm like, that would be. One guy one time told me that I should set up like a 160-meter loop at the hunting lease, which we got plenty of room out there.
Oh, that would be killer.
And I'm like, dude, that's a great idea. I just have to like run it through some trees and whatnot, and keep it like like a foot or 2 off the ground. It'd be great. So
I mean, I'd go high. Why not? Get it as high up as you can.
Well, see, and that's another thing, because we have the guy who owns the land runs cows on it during the winter. And through the spring, and then once it gets too hot, he takes them off there. But those cows destroy freaking everything. So you wouldn't want something on the ground anyway. So if I could get it like 10, 12 feet in the air and just kind of wrap it around some trees and make a big loop with it. That might actually be a really good idea. So
I mean, the loops in general, the horizontal loops, they like to be as high up as you can put them. And if you can get them up there, particularly 160, you'll be able to do like pretty much everything with that. Yeah. And you'll get some really good results, I think, as well.
Probably so.
Low noise out there, right? Depends on what you're running.
Depends on what you're running, but yeah, there are some. We've had some noise one year at field day, and I think, and I've set up out there multiple times, field day and not field day, and not had a problem with noise. But I think the noise was coming from because there's power lines running up and down the road that comes into the property, but we can get far enough away from that where it shouldn't matter. So I think they must have had a faulty something during that point in time.
Yeah.
But because I haven't noticed it since then. The last time I set up out there, I didn't have any noise, but. It's certainly possible to get out there without any noise. Yes, but that's good.
That would be killer. I would say take a look at that.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I'm gonna have to do that. I think.
I realized I gotta mention something because I gotta head out here shortly. I said, I got a lot of planning to do. But
no, that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah.
But I gotta mention this because I'm gonna be live again, and in fact I think you're also invited, and a bunch of other people are invited. And
I was gonna mention that as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Ham Radio Tube, our buddy Mike here, he's already in the chat. You know him, you love him. The K-Merds, as we call him in the Discord. He's doing a live stream for this large gentleman right here, and that's to size. That's to scale, actually.
That is to scale, yes.
K5ATA, great guy. He runs the Teacher Institute for the ARRL. Does great stuff in kind of inspiring teachers. He actually brings teachers out to W1AW and does a whole week-long thing teaching them a syllabus that they can bring back to their schools in STEM, educating kids on STEM and how you can apply radio to that. We're doing a live stream today. It's going to be super cool. Mike has figured out the way to make all super chats, all donations, everything go direct to the Teachers Institute at the ARRL, not the ARRL General Fund, the Teachers Institute. And YouTube, no one takes any cut. All of it goes straight to the Teachers Institute. So if you're feeling giving and you want to do something for helping out the Teachers Institute, which I support, I recommend, come check out Mike's YouTube channel. Starts at 5 p.m. my time. Is that right? Yeah, 5 p.m. my time, Pacific time. Yeah. So what is that, 7 o'clock your time?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, good stuff. So if you remember the legacy of this, last year, Mike did a rather long live stream. I'll just put it at that, to the tune of 9 hours or so. And people were bugging him to do it. I was on for a decent chunk, 5 or 6 hours of it. And
you went to bed and got back up and came back on.
Yeah, I did. I took a little napper. And people have been bugging him to do it again. Like, Mike, do it again. And he and I were talking. And I'm like, well, maybe. It's going to be raucous and a fun thing regardless of what we do. But what if we do something kind of like to help, give back or whatever? And that's where we reached out to Steve and we're like, hey, is this a thing? Is this possible? And he goes, oddly enough, we're actually trying to get this to work on our end at the ARRL. So here we go. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. So I had Steve on my Sunday night live stream like 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about doing so. What Josh mentioned a minute ago about all the super chats and YouTube not taking it. There's a charity thing built into YouTube where you can do charitable donations, or the Give Fund, I think they call it. Yep. And you can set that up and you go in there and search for like 501c3s and whatnot. And at the time when I had Steve on, I was not able to find anything for ARRL. So I know that he said they were working on that, and I'm glad that they got that going. So the next time each of us has him on, maybe we can all do that for him.
Oh, but yeah, I will for sure.
Yeah. I'm curious about how long it's going to take the ARRL to revoke all of our memberships once they see Mike's channel at like 4 or 5 hours in on a live stream, because that's going to have to be hidden from somebody somewhere. So especially for a student organization, I'm just like, I looked at that and I'm like, you're going to do this 9-hour freaking live stream considering what you did last year and talk about students. That takes guts, Mike. I'm telling you right now. I mean,
I can't guarantee 9 hours. That seems like a lot. I don't know if it's going to be 9 hours.
Yeah. But I'm just like, someone somewhere is going to turn out at the end of that and say, well, it's either going to be Mike because he's not going to be able to drink the whole time, or it's going to be Steve because it's going to turn into a debauchery. And so one of you guys are going to be like, well, we're not doing that again. So I don't know.
Okay, it just depends on how effective it is. You know, and sometimes money does the talking for you. And
true.
If there are enough donations, the ARRL is going to be like, well, I really hate to allow this again, but it was so dang effective. I kind of have to.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. So, oh my goodness. But I plan on being there tonight. I should be home, but I got to go somewhere after I'm done here.
All right.
I should be home by then, but if not, I'll join late because I know y'all still be going. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not a problem. Cool. All right, man. Well, I need you. I know that you need to. We've been going for just over an hour anyway, so this is good timing.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
So if you
again, thanks for letting me come out here and rant a little bit and talk with you.
Absolutely.
It's been a good year for ham radio. It's only going to get better every year. It just keeps getting better. There's more people joining our ranks than ever before, and
that's right.
I know I appreciate all the support and subscribers and everything that you guys have given throughout the years. I took a look, and tomorrow's Christmas light antenna will be my 6th.
I saw that. I saw that your live stream popped up earlier and said 6th annual. I'm like, my goodness, you've been doing it that long?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that is crazy. So
yeah, appreciate you, Jason, and everything you do and everybody watching. And I got to go clean up the house and do a bunch of stuff. But then I'm going to start building my Christmas light antenna. So come back tomorrow at my channel and see if I got it up and running.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Yeah, we'll. Go check out. Did someone share? Mike, share the link to that pre-planned live stream in the chat somewhere because I don't think we
got it.
Did you? Okay, yeah. Whoever
right
has
now.
admin can do it. But I'm going to close with this. I'm going to say one last thing, and then we're going to close it out here. I had on my Wednesday stream after I had Bob on, which, by the way, those of you who bared with me for having K6UDA on, thank you for bearing with me. That guy's a riot. He is.
I gotta go watch that.
I
saw it.
You gotta go watch that. Yeah. He is out of this world. Not the direction I was hoping that stream would go, but it was fun. Nonetheless, it was fun.
All right. I'm gonna go watch it after this one. I'm doing chores.
Yeah. So after I ended that stream, I'm looking at because the chat keeps going on YouTube for like a couple of minutes or so, and I saw a comment from Christopher Stockwell, and I found this comment actually in my Discord, and he said this to me, and I'm like, you know what, this is what we need to do. So. This idea popped in my head 2 days ago, and I haven't talked to Josh or anybody else about it yet, but I think we might try a concentrated effort here. So here's the thing. Keep this in the back of your mind and think about what we can do. Christopher says, how about we start a campaign or challenge where each licensed ham checks into their local repeater once or twice daily for the next year, run a contest and see who does it faithfully. And I kind of meant daily. I mean, if you're in town. Sure.
Okay. But I mean, like daily. You gotta check in daily.
Check in daily. And I'd kind of mentioned something about this a while back about, hey, just key up your local repeater once a day and throw out your call sign and see what happens. And I did that for a while, and I made some QSOs. I talked to some people. But, you hear this all the time, Josh. Repeaters are dead. Nobody's on the repeaters and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I like the sound. And maybe the challenge doesn't have to exactly fit this comment that Christopher made, but I think this is a good idea. So you guys be thinking about that over the course of the next week. We're going to get together. Josh, I hope you can join us for a New Year's Eve live stream again, like we've done the last couple years.
Yeah, we'll try.
And I know a lot of people, Mike will be there, Frank will be there. I know a lot of people will be there. So we're going to do a New Year's Eve live stream, racking in the New Year for the East Coast and Central Time Zone like we've done for the last 2 years. This will be the 3rd year to do that. And I would like to hear y'all's thoughts on that coming up then. What does that say?
It was from Del Fargus. What would I do if someone is on the repeater and actually wants to talk?
Touche.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness. So y'all think about that, and maybe we can spin something up for 2024 and start on New Year's Eve and try to get some more repeater activity just for the heck of it.
Yeah,
I'll start connected repeater or not.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's a good goal. Yeah. So, all right, Josh, I'll give you back your afternoon, man. Thanks for spending an hour with me, and I'll probably see you on Mike's stream tonight.
You better. We gotta
all right.
We gotta.
We got to do it.
Fun. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. It should be fun. Yeah. I wonder how long Steve will hang with us. I'm curious to see that too, because
he's like, I gotta get out. I'm out of coffee 2 hours ago.
Exactly.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right, 73 guys. Y'all have a good afternoon. We'll see you later tonight.
See ya.